I'm here with Anna Lowe. This person in this moment is going to be coming into the call any minute now. And I'm really excited to talk to this person because of the energy that's been shared and connected. Life is interesting to me in a way that we can connect to people without ever having meeting them, and yet knowing somehow that these two human beings, the many dimensions that exist as a human being, are going to align. I don't hear you.
Now? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Wonderful. I was actually just saying, speaking to myself to the camera again, how it's so interesting how people can connect and all around the world through energy. And sort of have this intuition that things find alignment.
Yeah.
What's your take on Zen?
What do you mean?
Zen? Are you familiar with Zen?
Yes.
I remember you saying one time something about your grandfather being aligned with Zen.
Yes. Yes. Yes, actually it was a joke. But there is part of truth in any joke. So he is an old man, but he still knows how to enjoy the life, how to live very simply and happily at the same time. That's why I call him the greatest Zen master ever.
I love that.
Why.
Yeah, I love that. I love your English too, by the way.
Thank you.
I know you speak several languages, yeah?
4 languages. 2
Wow.
of them my mother languages. I'm half Russian, half Ukrainian. So these languages I speak since my birth, and English and Turkish.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So you also like to work with energy.
Yes.
I mean, I guess every human does, but you seem to like to teach it, and I love the way that you put words together.
Thanks. Actually, yes, we all have this ability, and it's actually one of the main ideas which I'm trying to show to the people, that it's not like there are some special chosen people, who has some great grandmothers who knew some special spells and they gave them, and so they know now how to do magic. No, actually, it can be compared to the muscles power. Some people can be strong since their birth, but some people are weak and thin since their birth, but they can go to the gym, for example, and to become even stronger than the first ones. So it's just a point to wake this power, to firstly to understand, to realize that you really have it inside you, that to believe that, and then it becomes really not so difficult. Once you start to notice it inside you, you just develop it day by day. That's all.
I love that. It's about It's 9 p.m. for you now, right?
Yes, in my city. It's
Is that
9
late?
p.m. But you can see it's still light, daylight,
Yeah,
because
that's why I'm surprised.
yes, because I live in the north, nearby the Arctic area. So we have white nights, and actually it's not gonna be darkness today. Just little bit, it will be like twilight. And in June, it will be totally light, 24 hours. It's really amazing. Though I live here all my life, I still didn't accustom to this because it's awesome. It looks like endless sunset all night. Yeah, very beautiful.
Yeah, it seems like. I'm glad that I asked. It reminds me a little bit of I saw you taking photography by the ice. And do you remember what time it was around then?
Sorry?
Do you remember what time it was when you were taking that photo?
That photo from my profile?
The one where you were with the ice, with the penguins.
Yeah, it was kind of month ago, and it was very cold that time. It wasn't any grass, but right now it's very surprisingly, it's very hot weather here. I don't know why, but now we have grass, green leaves, and very hot.
Oh, so no jacket right now if you were to go outside.
Yes. I was exactly like this outside today. Yeah. And my window is opened completely now.
Oh, so you get some good fresh air.
Yeah.
I'm glad I actually checked the other store to see if it was open so I can get some sun and some air and sort of refresh my brain and my legs and come here with a clear Zen mind.
Um,
Like your grandfather.
yeah. I miss that village actually so much because here I feel the like of connection with the nature. Like when it's very cold, you have to stay all the time in this stone box because it's not comfortable outside.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why I need to go somewhere to be nearby forest or sea or something, but unfortunately everything is closed for now, so I'm waiting.
Yeah. Do you have woods where you are? Like forest? Do you have forest where you are?
Actually, we have forests even here, and recently we have good weather, so maybe in New Year's Day I will go somewhere uh, for weekend, maybe some forest. We have endless forests here. Yes. Sometimes people get lost there forever.
Yeah. Yeah. So the question that's coming to my mind now, what excites you?
What excites me? Uh, Many things excite me. I'm trying to find some maybe common word for all of them. Um, I get excited by the constant moving on. Probably it means in literally and in maybe self-development.
Mm.
Um, learning something new, and actually this life, everything in this life, and the things which make me feeling alive, because sometimes I have such how can I say, such feature that I can be falling out of reality, like in another world, and like what still I'm doing here in this three-dimensional world. when something happens here, what makes me feeling like, wow, this game is still very interesting. Whatever. Sometimes it's not very happy things, actually. Sometimes it's painful things. But however, if it made my attention to be attracted, um, it it excites me, it inspires me, however.
I like that. Sort of gives me a flashback just now, when you were talking about going to creepy places.
Yeah, it's very, very close from my house.
Hmm.
Just it's the road, and after it, it's kind of industrial zone, and there are a lot of old buildings.
Hmm.
Actually, by the way, there is graveyard also nearby my house. So yeah, seems it's like a destiny to be attracted by these places.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it does. What's more exciting than death?
Yes. There are not bad places, I think. There's just places which resonate or not with you.
Yeah, maybe good reminders.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel I may get lost in certain images in my head, and those become clear sometimes when I hang around certain spots or when I meet certain
Mhm.
people. And then there's no thoughts, and it's like, what was I thinking about again? It's like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I understand you well. I can relate.
Yeah, wonderful. One of my favorite things is this calibration in the moment.
Yeah.
For me, I have this habit where a lot of the energy gets pushed right here, and I have to remember not to mess with it too much, and then it starts to flow more.
It's amazing that it's possible even from the big distance. You know, it's 7 hours between us. So how far? Like I'm your friend from the future. But still it's possible. It proves the fact that in the spiritual world there is no any distance, there is no any space, just everyone is nearby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can feel anyone literally.
Right. Maybe, you know, this computer is 7 hours away, but we're right here.
Yes.
Makes me wonder, I was wondering this yesterday too, is there seem to be so many, I'll say it this way, so many bodies to a person, and yet they're all here.
Yeah.
When I look at someone long enough, sometimes I start to see blueprints.
Right?
When I look at someone long enough, sometimes I start to see blueprints,
Mm-hmm.
certain lines of color.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really honored we took the time to be here.
Do you see any colors now?
Yeah. More like I see patterns of all colors. So
Mm-hmm.
here, 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 here.
That's interesting.
I sometimes when I'm in the moment, I see different patterns, and yours look really interesting. They're and I don't know if this is just my own eyes are changing over time as well, so I don't know. But your channels, they're very thick, very clear energies goes through them, very
Mm-hmm.
and it's very beautiful, simple patterns that I'm noticing. Particularly this one. It's almost like reminds me of this shape, reminds me of a horseshoe. I've not seen that. I don't see that one often.
I feel vibration here all the time.
Wonderful.
Especially recently. It's very interesting period on the planet right now. And everything is changing so fast.
Yeah. Yeah. It happens like this.
Yes, and literally can be felt the rising of vibrations of the planet, and it getting faster and faster day by day. So sometimes it's very difficult to understand what to do today when I wake up and I find myself a bit different person than yesterday. There's no any seem reason. But understand that the things which were important for me yesterday are not important right now. It's just
Right.
useless things. Yeah. And actually it's very fascinating and it's inspiring to watch this process, to see all this synchronicity in the world. Amazing.
When you arise from the morning and have that feeling, is there something you tend to do? Some pattern? I'm really pleased you're here with me.
Me too. Interesting. Now connection comes like this from this area is unusual.
That's new for me.
Mhm.
Yeah. Usually, speaking from the past few years, I would feel it here, lots of vibration. And
Mhm.
past few months, I took an initiative to start here.
Mhm.
And through exercise and those things, it becomes very natural to listen to the belly and breathe through the belly. And with my background in martial arts too. And lately, when the energies build up a lot here, I release through here consciously.
Also depends on the person you connected with, because you have sometimes, I can say, for example, your these chakras combine, that it will be resonate well. Or sometimes it's not even about connection like this, even in normal daily human relations. It's also about which chakras, which energy centers are more, how can I say, I
Now,
forgot my English. Mention
yeah,
more than others.
yeah,
And or for example, when people send to each other to play some roles, some certain roles in their life, sometimes to teach each other, sometimes it's not pleasant connection. For example, if both of them have very active third chakra, and um, means they often concentrate on, some competitions, on some being a bit aggressive.
mm,
And when they find each other on this point, it's just like big lesson for both of them. Yeah. And people connect from here, it means yes, it's much more pleasant, of course.
yeah,
And to some people, we have this center gets opening immediately. For some people, it gets closed for some reason. Maybe we don't even know, but we feel it's not here. But here it can be open, for example. Or yeah, it's also interesting to watch these processes, how it happens with boom.
right. It
Yeah.
sort of like everyone's a recipe, and sometimes we come into the cauldron with different ingredients, and we come out as something else.
Yeah.
It's an
It's
alchemy.
like yeah, it's like everyone has his or her own smell, for example, voice or color. Yeah.
And it's pretty strange to, let's say, leave a room and you come out smelling differently.
Yes. Also,
And people
true.
around who knew you before might notice that. They're like, hey, new person.
Yes. Yes. It's also very surprising. Actually, it's very beautiful to watch these processes from other people and um, from yourself, and you some little things change to you in you, and you start meet sometimes totally different people. You still walk by the same streets, but your reality got changed because of some little detail in yourself, and you attract totally different people. You attract totally different events, situations. um, yes, everything in our perception, actually.
feel appreciation.
It's great.
Yeah. I was gonna say I feel it here, but then as soon as I identified that, it moved up. So I feel it in my body, my appreciation. Are you good at identifying your feelings?
Sorry?
Are you good at identifying your feelings?
Yeah.
Good. You're very beautiful.
Okay.
Do you ever ask your heart questions?
My heart?
Yes.
I ask my inner voice, my higher self. Maybe it's the same. Like we can call this intuition also. Yes, all the time.
I sometimes I find that it's physical in a way. I actually focus on the feeling here.
Yeah.
And I'll ask a question, and the Great Mother will answer me. And it sometimes feels a little different than when I ask this question.
Yeah. And sometimes it may seem bit unlogical, the answer, but later you understand it exactly was right.
Exactly.
Mm.
Like, for
Yeah.
example, right now, as I ask myself in the moment, what do I love to do? Strong word that says move. I love to move. And even silence moves.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll breathe intentionally into the chest to sort of bring circulation to this answer, to this inclusion, this voice.
Yeah.
What do you love?
I love.
What do you love?
There's so many things I love. I love my family, myself, the world around me, my life. Love is an energy, not a feeling.
Yes, yes. Is
And
there,
yeah.
this is where it's a little illogical though, for me in my experience, because I know love is a feeling. It can be applied to anything and anywhere. And yet for some reason, I ask my heart something and it actually has a preference.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why. But for some reason it's just it's more than a voice. It's a knowledge on what I love. And I know that love could be applied to anything and anyone. And still the answer is the answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when I'm full with this energy, I feel love to everything, to everyone. Yeah, of course, there are some people whom I love, whatever, but it's kind of my also yes knowledge, my understanding. But yes, I love them when I'm even totally exhausted, when I don't have any emotions. However, I know I love them. Mm. But also I love these moments when I full with this energy enough to share it with everything around, feeling the time full with it, and I can even give it to
Yeah,
other people and spaces. Yeah,
sure.
actually, it's a point to rise your energy, to feel like this all the time. We used to think that we need a person to be like feel like falling in love, this this euphoria, this amazing feeling like butterflies in your stomach, But actually, it happens because yes, when we meet someone who we find like matching us, it just makes this energy wake up very suddenly, very quickly because of many chemical processes and energy processes. And we used to think that yes, if we lose this person, we lose all this. But actually, we can rise our energy on such a level to have it all the time, to be like falling in love without anyone around us. Like it comes from our heart and we feel this. We are in this state.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've recently been learning about human design charts.
Mm-hmm.
And to add to what you just beautifully mentioned, I uh, I can say that sometimes it's more pronounced in some people uh, than others, where there's this split, and because of the energy split within, um,
Mm-hmm.
they tend to feel whole when they're with someone else. Um, and some people have a single definition, which just means their energies because of past lives or because of chance. There is more concentration in the center channel rather than the left and right sides. And because of this center channel, person tends not to feel much inclination uh, to even be in relationship sometimes.
Yes.
And I have that strong inclination. So it's been a journey over time to connect with people from that inclination. Because as you
Mm-hmm.
can imagine, some can easily just hide away in a cave. And that's fine for those people that do. And yet, because of certain details and because of, part of me wants to say a masculine energy in me, there's something that actually does like to work. And not just on the energies, but once those energies have some platform to actually go out in the world. It's not necessary, but it's love. It's what the heart pulls me to be illogical.
Yeah. Interesting.
My central channel would take me straight to the brain. Boom, there's enlightenment. Don't need to go anywhere. But the heart is expansive. It pulls from the left and right hemispheres. It brings
Mm,
people and it brings me to people. And getting very emotional now. And by tapping into that, it supplied something that that the straight intellect didn't. Peace, clarity is wonderful, but the intersection between
yeah.
that clarity and the pain is where passion comes from.
Yeah. Actually, pain, it's not something bad. It's just a moment of the growth, the
Yeah,
place you haven't been before. That's why you are scared and insecure. Yeah, like this and vulnerable. But after you grow, you stop feel pain on that level.
yeah.
It's just like a signal
Well,
for us to do something.
what's cool too is before in a way I just didn't feel it, which is it's a paradox here because when you're operating, let's say from the central channel, you bypass all of it in a sense. Your body can feel pain, pain happens, and but it doesn't bother, doesn't
Yes,
facilitate any sort of reaction. But when the heart opens, um,
yes,
it stirs whatever sediment is inside the body, whatever karma that I bypassed inside the body, it stirs it up like sediment at the bottom of a cup. You know, you shake the cup a
yeah,
little bit and all the sediment swirls around. And to process that, to remain the booty, but also to also feel and to allow the emotions to come and to
yes,
allow the channels to keep opening up. Um, that's a whole second stage
yeah.
in my development, that is. Yeah. Because I'm sure everyone has their own steps.
By the way, who you are according to the human design?
Do you mean what kind of
Yeah,
profile or
yes, yes.
so my authority is sacral, which
Mm.
makes a lot of sense to me. Um, especially because I love making the sound hmm. And some intuition about life is always there. And I'm the right cross of rulership, which
Mm,
means this deep listening and the capability to listen, let's say, to put it in a frame as systems, as beings, as organisms, what have you. We all have inputs that come into the body, into the system, and they're
mm,
transported through air and ether, and they're metabolized through fire or metabolism and put into the structure and then out to the fruit of the initial input. And I have most of my chart is undefined, but I have one or two centers which are defined. And um, one of them is something with this cross, which is the ability
mm,
that when inputs come into my system, I metabolize them gracefully and I
mm.
send them out. Though my insides may be flaring in fire, I don't know. But somehow something in me is able to stay in the center. And I feel honored to feel my feelings in that center.
Mm.
And I also have, I think I don't remember the number. Maybe it's 3-6. I have lots of threes in my chart. Um, maybe it's 3-6, but that's the role model and opportunist.
Mm. Mine is 4, 6, 2, 6, 2, 6. Yes.
And what is
I,
this one?
hmm?
What is this one?
Blue six. I don't remember exactly, and I forgot this word. Um,
I think I can
Wait.
check now.
I'll look at translator now. It's not a problem. And just a minute. Yes, I don't really know a lot about the human design, but I was surprised. How I was curious about it some time ago. So I
Is it 6-2?
I'm uh, hermit.
Yeah, I see it here. Role model her.
Yes, and that of this four group manifestor.
So you're
It's mine.
probably a single definition, right?
Yes, probably. And about this cross, written that almost all of people I meet in the life, I know them already. It's very little part of the people around me whom I haven't met before. And I really noticed this so much. And the longer I live, the more I rise. I don't know. I meet them more and more often. So it's very interesting that
Mhm.
people say me, I know you from my previous life. I already I'm not surprised already. So okay, welcome, welcome. Nice to see you here this time again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I find this familiarity very much in me with pretty much everyone I'm talking to lately. And it's
yes,
happening so quickly that when I feel it, I just reach out and I ask to talk to this person.
yes. And recently it happens really more often. Maybe also because of this change in the world, uh, such kind of people just started to find each other more often, to get attracted, to feel each other, to these circumstances started to happen, like to make them meet.
Yeah.
So yes.
Do you remember what your authority is?
Sorry?
Do you remember what your authority is on the human design chart?
No, I don't remember. And as I said, I didn't make some professional chart. I just was curious and looked
Mhm.
in the internet a couple of
Yeah.
years ago to find out. So that's all I remembered. That as it's manifestor means that the person who
It
um,
would make sense. You're a manifester?
yes, who yes, who
That makes sense.
prefer to create the knowledge
Yeah.
itself. Yes, and really, it's at the same time like a curse and a blessing for me that I cannot take any knowledges if I didn't live them myself.
Mm.
I can't believe even it's obvious, even all people live this. In my life, somehow everything happens not like in the most people's. So I don't believe to anything that, because if it works in other people's life, it doesn't mean that it will work in mine. So first I have to live it like my own experience, then I gonna share this knowledge. Or if I find some idea from my head from the space channels, I don't know, I will provide this.
Mm.
But I cannot just blindly take someone's idea and to
Mhm.
repeat it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, just it's my nature. It's not because I want like this. I would maybe I would be more. My life would be easier if I could just take and realize, but it's it's not about me.
Yeah, it seems like we each have different strategies and they're like energy strategies in a way. And
Hmm.
I'd love for us to go over your chart later But one of the things that comes to my mind is me and my friend were talking the difference between manifesting generator and generator. And generators are more like the bees, like they're like the bees of the world, they're generating. And then there's manifesting generators, which they absorb, they take more input, they digest it thoroughly, and then something comes. And it would make sense to me if that you were in this chart, manifesting generator, because of the hermit part inside of your profile.
I'm just manifestor, not manifesting
Cool.
generator.
Okay.
Yes. And that number 26 or 6, so
Yeah.
I don't remember. I remember it's, yes, it's written like a hermit. That's a person who the first part of the life gets all of possible experience, does all of possible mistakes, does crazy things, lives crazy life, and after 30 years old, very suddenly changed, because it's enough this human experience for my soul. Okay, I know about this and this, how it works. Okay, thank you so much. I'm sorry. And after that, this person gets becomes not interested about the most things which makes normal people excited. Yes, it's very resembles my life. It was like this till 30, and after 30 it's two very different lives.
Interesting.
And two different mindsets.
Yeah. Mine's interests me. It sort of boggles me too. Because I look at apparently I'm meant to have many stages, but I'm getting the strong impression that I skipped most of those stages. And apparently I wasn't supposed to have this grace until after 40 or 50. I think 60 actually is the part of my last stage. And it seems like I processed a lot in a short amount of time. Maybe for a while going against my nature is a little bit of facilitated that through the life circumstances. And being exposed to situations that really made potent shifts in my energy. Really interesting people, as well as situations. Once a week, what I used to do, I don't know if you're familiar with psilocybin or these mushrooms. And I would schedule some time once a week a few years ago, and I would take 5 to 10 grams of this and take them early in the morning and just dance and shake and cry and cry and cry. And it felt like I was dismantling myself all the way to the bones. And I'm getting a flashback now of this thing that I had heard of the initiation of new shamans, which is, and I'll put it in the words of the Great Mother will take his head, she'll put it to the side and have him watch himself be digested down to bones. And then he comes back with new flesh and new blood. And that experience has happened several times for me. And it's happened so often that I've gotten a nickname called Vishnu, because Vishnu has something similar. Vishnu is cursed to continue dying and coming back for humanity, essentially. And my archetype or my patterns or the full extension of my patterns as my best self seems to be very identical to those stories. I don't think it's particularly a virtuous thing, in a sense where I don't feel good or bad about it, but it's true that if I push myself to my limits, I'll keep coming back for humanity, just as an idea, as a concept. I'll continue to destroy and digest myself. It's not something I'm confident of. It's just something I've observed about myself over time, even before I believed it. But over time, watching my patterns, I can just see this consistency to keep breaking myself down, specifically for the reason to become a dynamic being for life. And it's weird because I share the pattern of the hermit in my life, in a sense, where so much isolation, but the isolation has always came with the motivation of coming back to people.
I think that's come. Let's learn to live again.
Okay.
Yeah. I lived very strange experience when I was 15. Actually, I can say my life was divided, before and after in that time. And few times I heard from other people that exactly this age is very important. Something starts happening. Probably, I don't know, maybe it's kind of past life experience decides that this age is enough for the person to handle these things, this experience, these memories which comes. I don't know, but it started to happen to me suddenly that I felt myself like, symptoms like you smoked marijuana, maybe like this, and like little bit overdose. I didn't feel my body. I didn't feel anything. And I felt like I totally dissolved in the space and that I don't exist and anything exists. It doesn't exist around me. And I was so scared firstly because I thought I'm losing my mind and nothing could help me, no doctors, nothing, no some physiotherapy procedures, nothing, no medicines, nothing helped me because it's impossible to help you after you saw something. You can unsee it back, So yeah, I really I saw some things. I understood some things in very early age, in that 15 years old. Firstly, I thought just it's something wrong with me, but later, year by year, I started to understand that no, it's not kind of problem. It's not kind of mental illness or something. I started to try to explain myself what is going on, why I feel myself like all this is a big illusion, like I'm in a dream. But at the same time, there are people whom I love. How they can be my dream? But at the same time, I feel more clear and more really that this is an illusion. That this world is not really real, So I found some explanation to myself, like, okay, all this is illusion, but the people's souls are real. They just also, their bodies are illusions, my body is illusions, but the souls are real. Okay, I got peaceful with this idea. And after some time, I found the book, Yoga Vashishta, maybe you heard, this very, very old book. And I started to read it, and I read it, I read and draw it and sitting like this many, many times because it was written literally everything what I explained to myself. I was so shocked, but after that I totally convinced myself that no, I'm not an ill person, because there is a big, huge philosophy which teaches people that world is like this, the world is illusion. I said, okay, thank you, that's great. Yeah, and after that, I started to learn all these things more seriously, more attentively, and also from the scientific point of view, from my own experience, from all these ancient knowledges, from all things I heard from people who has similar experiences. Yeah, so it happens like this.
Yeah, yeah. So being that it's approaching 10 in your time, or I think past 10 now, I want to be appreciative of your time. And it'd be great to meet you here again.
Me too, the same. Very nice to see you in the real life, finally. I mean, not literal real life, but
Yes, yes,
to talk to you.
yes, yes. Thank you.
Thank you,
for your time.
Tom. Okay.